Hey, we're back. Did you see that fucking intro? I'm getting kind of good at this. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about today is the HK 45C Tactical. Now, for all of you goddamn fucking virtue signalers out there, it's empty. Stop being dickheads about things. Fuck. Anyway, so first thing I want to talk about is flashlight. If you're going to put a Streamlight TL, that thing on here, there's some forums you're going to need to go to, and you're going to need to get one of the pieces out of the box. It comes with all the shit you need, but you're also going to need a Dremel to get this fucking guy on here. Because apparently, Streamlight just decided to tell everyone that owns an HK to go fuck themselves. Now that we've covered that part, this would be my carry gun, except for the fact that I don't want to buy a supremely shitty Amazon fucking IWB holster, and I would like to have my flashlight. And there's only one company I've found that makes a combination holster that'll hold this gun and the fucking flashlight, and that's Odin Holsters. They don't sponsor my shit, and that makes me really, 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 really sad. Like, really sad. But this gun makes me happy. Now, the lower's polymer, the upper is metal gun stuff. It definitely real, definitely gun stuff. Comes with a threaded barrel because it's the 45C Tactical. This is the little brother to the USP and the USP Tactical and the 45 Tactical and whatever. It looks like a USP. It's just smaller. It does have the front cocking serrations on it. We do have the suppressor sights, and the suppressor sights have that neat little glow-in-the-dark guy up front. That's pretty super neat, and especially finding these in the dark makes life a whole hell of a lot easier. Trigger pull on it, kind of crap, and I'll explain why. So we're in single action at the moment. You see that? You see how much take up there is on that? Not a fan. Not a fan of that. So once it breaks, though, make everyone's life easier. We'll do it this way. The reset's pretty crisp, and you get a real audible click off of it. But now we got a double action. And you see how much play there is there. There's a lot. And right about here is where you start to get the pulse. You start to get the move. Not the biggest fan of that, but it's a stock trigger. What are you gonna do about it? Other than swap it out for a better trigger at some later stage. Now, I do have one serious gripe about this gun. Aside from the magazine capacity, which I'll get to later. Without the magazine in it, with that stupid elephant foot grip, which is this, okay? My pinky barely has any real estate. Now that wouldn't necessarily be a problem, because I do have gigantic old fucking bear paws. Which I understand, okay? You can't make a gun for grizzly bears, it doesn't really work. My problem is this little cutout right here, okay? Which the magazine fits into, and has its own little groove down here that it fits into. Some of you may know where I'm going, because if you've got your grip on this, you can see I can move the magazine with my pinky. If you go for a reload and your grip isn't perfect, you will pinch your fucking hand in there, and it hurts. And it really makes me sad that my pretty German princess handgun likes to hurt me. Or does it make me sad? That's a conversation we're gonna have to get into later. I really think that's a weird conversation. Really, I don't have anything else bad to say about this gun. It is pretty much ambidextrous, pretty much, from the factory. You can take the safety and the decocker off the left-hand side. I don't, because I'm a right-handed shooter. And you can put it on the right-handed side, well, the right side of the gun, because that's the thing. You do have the ambidextrous slide release, slide stop. It's fucking can we just pick a fucking name and go with it? Can we do that? It does have the H&K paddle release. It's not a button, it's a paddle. I actually kind of like that a little bit more. It is a little bit far forward, even for my big old fucking paws. Yeah. It's not a small gun by any stretch of the imagination. I think this one's only like that much bigger than my fucking Shadow systems. Now, my second biggest gripe is kind of a big one. This holds 10 rounds. My FN, which is also a double stack 45, holds 15 in a magazine. It's pretty much the same size as this. So I think H&K were busy designing that fucking SP5, and we're like, oh, look, how many bullets should we put in the magazines for the 45s, or like for the 45 tacticals and stuff? And they're like 10. 10's fine. 10, it's all right. Like, and yeah, everyone's gonna make the argument of 9mm versus 45, but we're not having that argument. We're talking about this. And I know for a goddamn fact all those fucking German engineers could have gotten me more bullets. They just chose not to. This fucking elephant foot grip, okay, it's comfy. I don't like it. I think it makes the gun look kind of a little bit goofy. But that's an aesthetic thing. That's about all there is to that. And the fact that it hurts me, which I think I like. Was that weird? Did we get weird there for a second? I'm glad we got weird there for a second. I'm glad we went on this little voyage together. This little voyage of self-discovery. I'm glad we did this together. Anyway, so just to change subjects real fast, because no one was enjoying that. That's a good noise. Not a lot of guns have a very satisfying noise when you hit that slide release. This one does. And I think that's something you should take into account. It does have the decocker, which is a terrible word, and one day I hope we can come up with something better, because that doesn't sound like a manual of operations, that sounds like a threat. There's not a whole lot of checkering on the gun. You can see it, it's there, it exists. That's about all there is to it. You can't swap out the back strap, but this one fits my hand best, so I don't really see the point. I might have it sent in to have some stipling done on it when this gun does finally become my carry piece, because I can't exactly carry it, because as I said, I'm not buying some shitty piece of shit holster off of fucking Amazon. And unfortunately enough, Odin has a 9-week lead time on their holsters, and that makes me sad. It makes me really, really sad. So, this thing, for its size and its weight, mitigates recoil incredibly well. Now, I know you saw in that fucking slow motion video, but again, the gun was going from, because, again, someone's going to fucking pay way too close attention to my gratuitous slow-mo porn shot, and they're going to realize that the gun went from here to here-ish, and then back down on target. Even though I solely did that just so we could get the slow motion shot. I wasn't actually shooting at anything in particular. I was just kind of putting rounds on a target. And that's... like, I wasn't sitting there like, oh, fucking make this 100-yard fucking shot. Fucking get it on camera. No. I was just kind of plinking at a target. And we wanted to get it in slow motion. So we did. There's another thing that not a lot of people are ever going to notice about this gun. And there's a loaded indicator on it. The gun's not loaded, in case anybody fucking forgot. But when there's a round in here, this tiny little red stripe is just the tiniest fucking bit more pronounced. Like, it comes out like a 16,000th of an inch. I don't know why it was on there, because, again, you should treat it like it's loaded all the time. Anyway. That's about all I've got for the H&K 45C Tactical. Like, it's got the threaded barrel, it's got the suppressor sights, magazine capacity kind of sucks. If you have big hands, you will pinch yourself. You should pinch yourself anyway. The streamlight on it does take a little bit of finagling to get it on there. But once it's on there and you've got it on there solid, it ain't going nowhere. It's ambidextrous for just about any shooter. You can, neat tidbit, I don't like this idea, but it's an idea, and if you want to run with it, you absolutely can. H&K Parts has parts for this gun, among many, many, many others. You can swap out the base plates, you can get other magazines, you can get extended magazines, you can get higher cap magazines, you can do whatever the fuck you want with your life. I don't really care. You can also take the rear sight off and attach a mount for a red dot. I don't particularly like that idea, because if you replace your rear sight with a red dot, you don't have a rear sight anymore. Which means if your dot goes down, you're kind of just trying. And I don't like that idea. Like, that's a bad idea. It's not a good one. If that's how you want to fucking rock and roll, then do it. I ain't gonna fucking stop you. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're coming for all of us anyway. Let's see, we covered the trigger. We covered the suppressor sights. We covered the magazine capacity. We covered the stifling and the grip and the checkering, which is okay. It's a big gun. Doesn't weigh a whole lot. But I also don't think that's really a contributing or deciding factor on handguns as a whole. I like that something is in my hand. I like that it's got some weight behind it. And, I mean, for some people, for when you're looking for a concealed carry piece or you're looking for whatever, they do tend to focus on weight a little bit more. If you're focusing on weight that hard, you're not focusing on the gun itself. Because a better gun might weigh a little bit more. I mean, again, the Glock 19 is probably one of the best concealed carry guns on the planet. And, I mean, they're a little bit hefty. Like, you feel like you've got something solid in your hands. I mean, my mom has a Smith & Wesson 380 from like 1992 that she usually carries. That information is extremely outdated. I do not suggest that. My mom will fucking murder you. I'm not kidding. Okay? She's bought more expensive guns than I've ever owned. This is a chunky boy. It is. It's a very chunky boy. And I love it. I love everything about it. I love the chunk. I am also a chunky boy. It got weird again in here, didn't it? Yeah, it did. That was fun. I'm glad we did this together. Like, comment, subscribe, send me death threats, hate mail. Really, whatever you got. Or you can say nice things.